hits the entertainment bullseye every week with her hard riding. Straight shooting. And suspense.
Patience, little one, patience. Papa Paul cannot do two things at a time. Yeah, such a nice breakfast. Yeah. Shame, eh, blood. To push a lodge like that is very ungentlemanly. Oh, come. Ah, that is better.
Stay here and keep a sharp lookout. We don't want to be interrupted.
Well, I presume you have come on the same errand as before?
With a bigger offer. $5,000.
I am still not interested.
But Denain, that's better than 300 an acre.
I know it is most generous. However, this is my home and
With $5,000, you can buy another one.
Why do you not understand? I homesteaded this land, cleared it. I built this cabin with my own hands. I planted all the flowers, not merely as a home for myself, but for my beloved daughter. And some of these days I will find her.
Why don't you stop kidding yourself, Denain? You'd have found her long before now if you were going to. Could be you're using her as an excuse to get us to go higher.
Oh, that is not true. I will not sell, no matter how much money you offer. Oh, the time I must leave. Never have I been late opening my shop.
Hold it. We might up the ante.
I'll take over, Joe. This guy's a nut. Now, you can't crack nuts by talking. You gotta do it this way.
Papa Paul must be slipping. You still look like a floor mop.
Tagg, Oakley, I thought I told you to wait if that barber shop was crowded.
It wasn't even open.
At 10 minutes to 9?
Honest, Annie, it was locked up tight.
Strange. Papa Paul has his peculiarities, but being late isn't one of them. He usually has that shop open every morning by 8 o'clock except on Sundays.
Maybe he's sick.
Let's ride out and see. Tagg, you had your homework to do.
Oh, Annie.
Go on.
Last punch was too hard, Nails. He's dead.
What?
We'll let the boss figure out what to do now.
I'll go after him. You check Papa Paul.
It's Lofty Craig and Annie Oakley.
Hello, little birdies. Eloise and Abelard are awful big names for such little birds. Can I keep them, Annie? Please?
Well, all right, Tagg. But you'll have to take care of them.
Oh, I will, Annie. Honest. Gee, thanks a lot. Please?
Only Papa Paul would have something like this in his stable.
It's lovely. He did beautiful work.
You mean he made this?
Mm-hmm. He used to be a lacemaker years ago back in Belgium.
He sure was one strange hombre. I never did savvy him, or much of what he said. I don't know, he seemed to, always talk in riddles.
Mm-hmm. These books on lace making. I'd like to read them sometime. Lofty, Papa Paul must have had a premonition. Because only last week he told me that if anything happened to him, I should take this picture of his wife and daughter.
What for?
There's something stuffed in the back of it. Any luck, Mr. Scott?
Yes. That two-gun hombre was Dutch Vogel, a notorious border gunman.
And robbery must have been the motive. Lofty, no wonder Papa Paul wanted me to have this picture. This is his will.
Oh, what'd it say?
Well, give me a chance to read it. He's leaving everything to his daughter, Eleanor Marie.
Daughter? Till I saw that picture, I didn't even know he had one.
Most people didn't. He lost track of her years before he came to Diablo.
What are you frowning about, Annie?
Listen to this. As every Flemish girl cherishes her christening dress, I am sure Eleanor has hers. Therefore, I ask her to produce it and insist that she explain these words. Youth gave love and roses and sewed it with a double thread.
A doggone peculiar thing to put in a will.
Just like Denain, though. He always was an odd one.
What else did it say?
Oh, nothing much. It names me as the executor.
Well, then it's up to you to find his daughter.
That's right, providing she's still alive. Being a newspaper man, you can help me find that out if you'll give this story a lot of publicity.
I'll have it on the Western Associated Press wire by sundown. Maybe I can get this picture in the papers, too.
Good. Lofty, do you have the key to Papa Paul's shop?
Yeah?
Let's go over there and look for a locket.
A locket?
Mm-hmm. Come on.
Your old tricks again, huh? Withholding information.
Denain's lost daughter named in strange will. I don't get it. If the old man was so poor, why should I pose as his heiress?
It's very simple. The miners on the ridge above his place ship their ore to a smelter the other side of Diablo. Denain's been letting their ore wagons cross his place for free. If we can get hold of his place, we'll put up a toll gate and charge him plenty.
Well, suppose they cross you up and send the wagons by a different road.
There's not much chance of that. The only other way is a trail over the mountains. Too narrow for wagons.
It's 20 miles longer. 3 days round trip by pack train.
How much can you tell me about Denain and his family?
Plenty.
What about this christening dress?
I guarantee you an exact duplicate of the real one.
All right. It's a deal.
Oh, one other thing. If you're going to be Eleanor Denain, you better dress like her.
Get rid of these trimmings.
Aunt Felice brought me to America when I was 7 or 8. I didn't know till a few years ago she'd done it without my father's knowledge.
He once told me it almost broke his heart. As soon as he'd saved up enough passage money, he followed you. The trail was cold.
Poor Papa. Until I saw the story in the paper, I had no idea what had become of him. If only I could have seen him before. I'm sorry, Miss Oakley.
That's all right, Mr. Denain. Mr. Denain? That's my name.
What?
My name is Denain, too. Eleanor Marie Louise Denain, Paul's daughter.
You can't be. She is.
And what's more, she's practically proved it.
But that's impossible. She's an imposter.
Miss Oakley, this girl must be out of her mind.
Well, Annie, as executor of the will, I guess the next step's up to you.
I know exactly how King Solomon felt. Well, have you anything to support your claim? You've each produced a christening dress. Let's see if you can explain these words. Youth gave love and roses and sewed it with a double thread.
I'm afraid I can't. My aunt told me some time ago about some double thread. It was such a long time ago. I can't remember.
Can you explain?
Easily. From what my Aunt Felice told me, youth means my father was a young man when I was christened. With love, he gave me this dress, which, as you will see, Miss Oakley, is trimmed with rose pattern lace.
What about the double thread?
Look at the seams.
Sewed with a double thread, all right. So is this one.
But I explained the words. Doesn't that prove I'm the real heir?
Certainly seems to, but I can't make anything official until after I find a certain locket.
Locket?
There was one paragraph in the will I didn't make public. The accuracy of her explanation will be confirmed by the contents of the jewel locket in my possession.
Well, I guess it's a stalemate till that locket is found.
I'm afraid so.
Then I might as well take a room at the hotel. Is it very far?
No, just down the street. I'll show you.
You're very kind.
The hotel's right over there. You'll have to manage alone from here on in. I want to get the boys out to the cabin. We've got to find that locket.
Where can I get in touch with you?
Oh, I'll be around.
What's puzzling you, Annie? The brunette met the terms of the will. She must be the real daughter.
I don't think so. Yet I haven't got anything to back me up.
What about the blonde?
I don't know, Lofty. I just can't say for sure about anything until after we find that locket.
I'll ride up to the cabin and get another going over.
All right, here's the key.
That locket was here. Craig and that Oakley gal would have found it.
Stop grumbling and keep looking.
It's Lofty Craig. You handle him. Pull up your mask. We can't risk him getting a look at us. No gunplay. You never can tell when one of those ore wagons might be coming through.
You okay?
I reckon so.
Let's go.
This blonde hair was my mother's, the dark hair mine. Papa must have loved us very much to keep these for so many years.
Youth and love.
That's right.
What's the use of me looking at it? I can't explain the words in the will. Or remember what Aunt Felice said about the double thread. Except I seem to be pretty sure it hasn't anything to do with seams.
Well, Miss Oakley?
Well, since you've met all of the terms of the will, I'm turning Paul Denain's property over to you.
Miss Oakley, you can't. She's not his daughter. It's not fair. It's unjust.
Wait a minute.
Gosh, I kind of feel sorry for her.
So do I.
Sorry.
She must have been desperate to attempt such a masquerade. When may I take possession?
Immediately. Here's the key to Paul's cabin.
Thank you. Well, isn't that part of Papa's estate, too?
Oh, yes, take it along. There's some other things right over here.
Oh, for now, I'll just take those.
All right.
Well, I better get out to the cabin.
All right.
Thank you all for everything.
Papa Paul had a pair of lovebirds. I've been taking care of them, but if you want...
Well, I'm sure he'd like you to keep them.
Gee, thanks a lot.
Well, I only hope I did the right thing. It was the only way I could think of to force her hand.
Whose hand?
The brunette's. I'm almost certain she's an imposter.
Then why in thunder did you give her the property?
To find out why it's so important to her. And also to try and learn the identity of Papa Paul's killers.
You think she's in cahoots with them?
Yes, I do, but I can't prove it. At least not yet. In the first place, her christening dress looks old, but I'd say both the material and the lace were made in the past, 5 years. If she ever gave it that yellow with age look, I'll never know unless maybe she dipped it in cold tea. But the lace in that christening dress is completely different in texture than the lace in the centerpiece.
Anything else?
Yes. As far as I'm concerned, those locks of hair don't even begin to confirm her explanation of the words in the will.
Sounds like a lot of jibber-jabber to me.
Me too. What are you going to do now, Annie?
Well, first I'm going to go find that blonde. I want to talk to her before she leaves town. You know, Lofty, her christening dress is genuinely old. It's delicate and fine, and the material looks as if it's hand-woven. And the lace? Lace? Hey, maybe that's it. Look, you fellas go look for the blonde. I'm going to continue reading about lace making.
Morning, Lofty. Got any news for me today?
I can't think of any. Oh, by the way, have you seen anything of that blonde girl?
No, not since yesterday afternoon. Why? Is there...
Hey, Lofty, I found it in the very last book. Oh, hello, Mr. Adams. Looks like I've got another headline story for you.
Does it really prove the brunette's a fake?
It sure does. Listen to this. When making lace for a christening dress, many a lacemaker follows a quaint old custom. He weaves one of his own hairs into the lace, along with the hair of the child for whom the dress is intended.
The double thread.
Exactly. The dark hair in the locket is Papa Paul's, and the blonde hair belongs to his daughter, so...
Annie, that Denain woman's put up a toll gate. Barred us miners from using the shortcut, unless we fork over $50 per wagon load. Per trip. We just can't do it.
So that's why she wanted to get hold of Papa Paul's land.
Just a minute, miss. I just wanted to tell you, I think you're getting a raw deal.
What do you mean?
Well, I've got a strong hunch that you're the real Eleanor Denain.
Thank you, but
And if you'll stay on here, maybe I can help you prove it.
I don't see how.
Suppose we drive out to the Denain homestead. We've got plenty of time until the stagecoach leaves. It isn't far.
I would like to see my father's home.
I'm sorry, boys. Right now, I can't disclose what action I intend to take. But I guarantee you that everything will turn out all right.
Better be soon or we'll be out of business.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, it's 10 minutes to 12. We'd better get over to the stage depot.
Say, you two better do something about that toll gate or we're going to tear it down.
Yeah, we sure will.
Tear it down. Well, I don't know. You can't get it.
I thought surely she'd be on that stage.
What do we do now, Annie?
Well, first we're going to get a magnifying glass.
Magnifying glass.
And then we ride out to Papa Paul's place. Suppose you keep an eye on these two so I can talk to Mr. Denain privately.
Sure.
Explain the dress, Danny, just like I told you. I'll take care of Elmer.
But, Mr. Scott...
Never mind.
Miss Oakley, what a nice surprise. Won't you come in?
Thank you.
How nice of you to call.
This isn't a social call, Vera. Do you mind if I take another look at your christening dress?
Not at all.
This isn't your dress.
Why, of course it is.
This material is soft and fine. It's really old. This is the dress Eleanor Denain brought with her. Where is she?
I haven't the ghost of an idea what you're talking about.
These pieces of straw came from her valise. What have you done with her? All right. Go on, move. Get that gag off fast. Now the ropes.
Adam Scott. He's behind all this. He's out back. Don't worry, Annie. I'll take care of her.
Get down, mister. You're walking back to town. So, when Papa Paul was making the lace for his baby's christening robe, he wove one of his black hairs and one of her golden ones into the rose.
Gosh, Annie, you know a lot.
Nonsense, Tagg. I just remember what I read. Well, Eleanor, you better get your bonnet on. The stage will be in a few minutes.
I thought you were staying in Diablo.
I'll be back. I'm using the money the miners paid me for the right-of-way to take a course in barbering.
And then she's going to come back and reopen Papa Paul's shop.
Oh, Annie. Gosh, I bet girls invented haircuts.